Where are you, Praveen?
Ropar, IIT Ropar.
Good.
And where are you? Bangalore?
Bangalore. Bangalore,
Okay.
not in institute. Aditya was not able to be contacted.
Okay.
Really? Do you want me to contact him? Let me just check. I was in touch with him, actually. Okay. Okay. Give me 2 minutes. Bye. Pingu, where are you? Okay, sorry. Just hang on. See, there is not.
Hi, Anjit, how are you?
Excellent, Matt. Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Where's that come from?
Hi, Anil, how are you? Long time.
Hey, great. Good to see you.
Hi, Indrajit, how are you?
Hey, great, man. Neeraj. It's been 2 years.
I couldn't recognize you without mustache.
It had. Hey, Saudab.
Hi, Saurabh, how are you?
Hi.
Design Dada.
Hi नीरज कैसे हो?
यार आप पूरा बाल वाल पक गया. मेरा तो बाल ही नहीं है. मेरा पक जाने से पहले उड़ा दिया मैंने. Vishal, I've sent you Aditya's email address. I just talked to him. If you can just forward the invite to him, maybe he will join. I'm not sure because he is waiting for some meeting or something. No, आपके SMS में भेजा है. SMS में. आप उसको लिंक फॉरवर्ड कर दीजिए. Let's see if you can join.
Okay.
No. I'm taking care of that actually. नहीं तो अभी तक बहुत कुछ हो गया होता था.
That's the last resort.
Where is अपना what is his name? Subodh. Yeah. अच्छा. My God. मैं सिर्फ बैंगलोर में.
Prabir ko I'm seeing, I don't know.
Yeah, long time.
Long time. Yeah. Nice.
So everybody is online. Anybody is in on site? Wrong question to ask.
Neeraj, are you in Bangalore?
No. I'm in Whitefield.
Sometime you can share your mobile number also. We can have a chat later.
Sometime मतलब करता हूँ ना, अभी शेयर करता हूँ पूरी दुनिया के सामने.
अरे नहीं, मेरे ईमेल कर दीजिए.
नहीं पूरी दुनिया के सामने करूंगा. जो करेंगे सबके सामने करेंगे. Hi Pravir, it's long time. I mean, it's really good to see you all there.
Chandrasekhar, you are from which batch?
I am not from. I'm from IDC.
ID. Okay.
If you remember, we met. We met very briefly at I think so, IISc ISD when you had come for a jury.
Yeah. Nice. And
I can say very proudly that I am also from first batch of ISC because when it was founded, I was there to attend the event. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We all had come from IDC when Yami Hour was.
Yes. I remember. Yes, some batch of students have come. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I came in '95. I guess I had come to ISC when it was just started. And yeah.
97.
98.
No, 95 I came. 96 I graduated from IDC.
Okay, but IISc तो started program 97 ना? 97 में.
Yes, but it was getting formalized. So we had come there to see the place and stuff like that. Met Pradeep for the first time there. So
you graduated in 96.
96 IDC. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you are with then who was with you? Your batch.
Zoe Punarwala, Shantanu Panse, all these guys.
Naren will be your junior, Ghate.
Naren is junior. Yeah.
Naren will be junior.
Yeah.
Nice.
So 25th year of IDC was first year of, rather the plan to start IISc. And then we finished the 50th year, and then you are finishing 25th year. It's interesting to couple of years here and there, but yeah.
Great.
There's a brand new program, and we were introduced to a brand new program at IISc. Yeah. So yeah, Vishal was very kind to invite me to speak at this fantastic milestone.
Great. So where are you, Chandrasekhar, nowadays?
I'm in Pune. I have a company called Futuring Design.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Great.
I thought, at one sometime I thought like this virtual thing is over and I'll be at CPDM. So when I have very good memories of CPDM, and I started recruiting. It's a fantastic. I'd come for one of the events, but Vishal told me it's all virtual. So I said, wow. So,
luckily, I was there in the opening ceremony of this 25 years celebration.
Wow.
So it was nice of Vishal and professors, that, and timing was just right. So that day I traveled. I was in Bangalore that evening actually.
Okay.
So just in time I reached.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Oh. Yeah. Cool. We are also like students. Yeah, we are like slightly white hair students or no hair students. Learning continues. Learning and design experience continues. And Indrajit, you are from which? Yours was which batch?
Second batch.
Hello, it was me.
It was with me.
Yeah, it's the same batch, right? You are with.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Very nice. So Prabir, Neeraj and Indrajit, yeah. I'm the bricklayer, the bricklayers foundation.
Hey, what happened to the other guys like Rashmin, Subodh, Sudesh? Yeah.
Yeah,
8 people.
8, right? 8.
There is Sohal is there around Bangalore. He's the one who is most active with IISc. Ratanjit. In our
first batch was what? 8 people, right? First batch.
But we were 9, I think. Hamara kitne the?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So how many is now? 23. Oh, okay. That's quite a big number. It's a single class, or it's more than one. It's one class, or there are more classes? One more. Mm-hmm.
So both the classes happen in the same campus? So some classes may be combined, is it? So we used to have that CDT and IISc in our time. Is the same thing, something like that? Where few classes used to happen in CDT and all.
Neeraj, वो तो काफी, I think that was changed long time back, na? When CPDM was established, then I think all the classes.
CDT is no more existing, right?
I don't know.
No, I don't
Vishal?
think so. CDT exists.
So is it still the same logo Neeraj has designed for CPDM, or it has changed?
Shahnawaz. नहीं इसका change हो गया ना, I think. This Shahnawaz logo, I think. I don't know who has designed it.
This is Neeraj.
Yeah,
Neeraj. Okay.
एक ही कुछ तो किया, वो भी क्रेडिट ले रहे हो आप लोग।
नीरज तो काम भी करता था।
थोड़ा बहुत कुछ जिंदगी में एक आध काम तो किया है, वो उसका भी क्रेडिट लेके जा रहा हूँ।
पर काम किया है, आई एम शॉक्ड, काम किया मतलब।
मैं बोला यार तो कुछ हुआ नहीं, बहुत कोशिश किया, पंजाब ट्रैक्टर्स में किया, यहाँ किया, वहाँ किया, कुछ तो हुआ नहीं।
Yeah, we used to have this annual thing, right? Showcase event. What is that called? Ripples.
Ripples. We started that, no? Do you remember?
Indrajit, I have a very easy way to remember ripples.
But Neeraj, तुमने
don't open that now.
Neeraj, तुमने लोगो बना दिया, इतना बड़ा काम कर दिया यार, तुम्हें तो यार बहुत स्पेशल अवार्ड मिलना चाहिए। प्रवीण करो यार।
ज्यादा लोगों ने पार्टिसिपेट नहीं किया था एक्चुअली।
He was the only one designing it. We had no option but to select whatever he makes. We had to select.
And actually, जिस दिन presentation था ना, I was doing the interview for Punjab Tractors. I was not there for presentation. Aditya did the presentation for this.
$5:30. 1 second. I have a 1 second. Let me check. 5:30. So we are required till what time? 10. I think should be fine. And then is fine. Then is fine. Till 6:45 also I'm okay. Till 6:40. Because 7 I have another meeting. So.
$5:30 you start.
So, Prabhi, where are you nowadays? You did PhD, right? You did some PhD program, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I did Masters, MDes, and PhD also.
Okay, so now you are.
Associate professor, and I do Roper. Roper is in Chandigarh. You can come anytime.
Prabhi, your voice is not very clear. I don't know. Is it with me or?
Let me just check it. Wait.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear your last part. So you are now currently working?
Vishal, I'm sorry, Vishal.
now?
काफी साउंड आ रहा है ना, बैकग्राउंड साउंड।
अच्छा। Okay, let me change it again.
Vishal, कुछ बैकग्राउंड थोड़ा सा म्यूट, can you mute?
I just got a message from Aditya saying that he's unable to join. Can you check whether he is waiting to join? Maybe he's doing it from mobile. That's the reason he was outside. I'll do that.
Hello? You are audible now?
You let us know. At least for me, I'll come. Saurabh, how many years now in Maruti?
For me now it's 19 years.
Wow. Congratulations,
19.
man. It's a superb milestone. I remember, I don't know if you remember me, but we met very briefly at DSK IISd. I used to look very different and very short hair and stuff like that, but now.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
you
was
have.
trying to. First of all, I was trying to remember. मैंने कहा हमारे second batch में तो
नहीं था कोई चंद्रू
चंद्रशेखर
नहीं था
हाँ भाई चंद मैं तो मैं कहा शक्ल बदल गई है या मैं कुछ कंफ्यूज हो गया मेमोरी लॉस हो गया है
And मेरा
इसलिए
पूरा
मैं
नाम तो पूरा नाम बहुत लोगों को कम लोगों को पता है. You guys would know me as Chandru. So I remember you had recruited some of my students when I was teaching at DSK also as transportation design. कुछ लोगों को you had recruited for internship and stuff like that. So
yes.
I haven't met others, Prabir, Neeraj or Indrajit. So happy to meet all of you.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember meeting you before the Chandrasekhar.
Yeah.
Indrajit, where are you nowadays?
Yeah, I am still in the same organization I joined 22 years back. It is Dassault Systems.
Oh, you are Deso only. Okay, nice. And now you are looking after which area now?
I'm into digital manufacturing.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So you are being true blooded ISCN in terms of doing the hardcore things.
Not hardcore really. Yeah, something like that. Similar. But design has a very important role to play for sure.
Yeah. Deso mein there were two who had gone, na? Only you.
It's only me here.
Okay.
तूने सारा को निकाल दिया. You have eliminated the competition.
Neeraj, what's happening with you? Where are you?
I am useless fellow. I am doing whatever I can.
अभी कर क्या रहा आजकल नीरज?
वो तो ठीक है.
मत पूछो.
फिर भी.
मत पूछो यार मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ. एक चीज कर रहा हूँ तब मैं बताऊँ कि मैं 20 साल से यही कर रहा हूँ.
Are you printing papers?
I am sending mail as of now.
I can see a printer behind you. That's it.
Printing papers. नहीं बट तुम्हारा वो डिजाइन वाला चल रहा है भी नहीं चल रहा है डिजाइन
कौन सा?
That
वो तो कब बंद हो गया यार. 2 साल से ऊपर क्या चला?
ओह अच्छा ओके. एक इवेंट पे तूने मुझे भी बुलाया था ना याद है?
हाँ बिल्कुल.
उस समय बड़ा स्केल में काम करता था साला 300-400 लोग थे उस दिन याद.
उसके बाद से कंपटीशन बहुत बढ़ गया एक्चुअली.
नीरज ने एक बार बेंगलोर गया नीरज के इवेंट पे गया भाई साहब क्या हॉल एकदम मतलब पूरा फुल ऑडिटोरियम ऐसे लोगों से खचाखच भरा हुआ है. मैंने कहा सही आ गया. मैंने कहा बढ़िया.
There is nothing in the world without competition.
And the design skill set क्या चल रहा है? डिजाइन स्किल सेट
वो चल रहा है. Sort of.
तो ये अब डिजिटल ज्यादा हो गया ना दिक्कत है. डिजाइन हैज बिकम lot digital also.
Actually, I visited your website. दो website यहाँ पे.
Which website?
Both design skills का जो ये है materials का.
designskillset.com.
कब विजिट किया? कब?
Lampshade.
When?
Lampshade.
Not able to hear you, Pravir.
Okay, let me.
प्रवीण आपका वॉइस अच्छे से नहीं आ रहा है.
Prabir, शायद आपको you might require a headset. The voice is there's an echo.
हाँ प्रवीण एकदम साफ नहीं आ रहा.
we hear the humming sound.
So this is our vision: pursue excellence in design education research, in design and manufacturing, so that we can help develop systemically complex, technologically intensive and socially impactful solutions. And we do that by embracing the functional, the aesthetic, usable and the sustainable. These are the missions we want to develop: professionals that can do this, nurture leaders who can strengthen existing practice and develop new practice, innovate products and manufacturing systems that can impact the society, and develop knowledge in terms of methods, tools, and just to inform and empower practice and education. We have 11 core faculty members, 7 associate faculty members at the moment. We initiated the first design observatory in India, the first PhD program in India. In fact, first student graduated from CDT. We're just discussing with Professor Ganesh Prabhu, who's going to speak in a moment. Professor Pradeep Yamiyavad, who then went on as one of the members of the team that initiated CPDM, and also then went on to IIT Guwahati to also play an important role in starting its own research program there. We initiated the first smart factory in India, first PLM conference. Professor Gurumurthy in 2003, if I remember correctly. It started one of the first 5 design innovation centers in India. India's first largest international design research conference, 10 plus research labs in very unusual areas, 20 plus editorships in major international journals, and 23 batches that have then gone on to produce startups, of course do jobs, but also do higher studies. We have a National Design Innovation Center led by CPDM, Professor Gurumurthy Technology Business Incubator, which focuses on geriatric healthcare, probably the only one in the country. The Smart Factory under the Department of Heavy Industries, and also the Design Innovation Center. 2 major established conference series, ICORD for design and iForum for manufacturing, are also initiated at CPDM. And that brings me to the end of the brief on CPDM. And moving on to the agenda today, I'm afraid we are delayed. And so pardon the numbers here, but now we will have a panel discussion followed by a discussion among the second batch of CPDM MDes alumni. So I'm just going to pass it on to Professor Vishal Singh to take over. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Professor Chakravarti. So given the time, I'll quickly get started. So the panelists are there on the screen, as you see, and of course, you would have seen in the poster. None of them really need introduction, but still, as process goes, I'll go and introduce them. So we'll start with Professor Gurumurthy. So Professor Gurumurthy is a professor at the Indian Institute of Science in CPDM and also in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. He currently serves as the Chief Executive Officer in the Society for Innovation and Development, SID, which was established in IISc to serve the outreach interface for the beneficial exploitation of innovations and the human potential existing in IISc. So his research interests are in the area of CAD, PLM, product information modeling, computational metrology, product design, and prototyping. He did his BTech at IIT Madras in 1982, followed by ME and PhD at Carnegie Mellon, Pittsburgh, USA. He's guided 16 PhD dissertations and is presently co-supervising 6 PhD students. He has 51 journal publications, 4 patents. He serves on editorial board of 5 journals. Is currently the Vice Chair, Asia Pacific of IFIP, WG, which is the Working Group 5.1 on Global Product Development for the whole life cycle. 2 technologies developed under him, and his laboratory has been licensed to industry and are in active use. So we welcome Professor Gurumurthy for your talk. Yeah. So the agenda essentially is that we'll have 10-minute talk from each of the panelists, so please, and then we'll go with the panel discussion after that. Yeah, so I'll invite Professor Prabhu as well to come on stage, so that we have both the panelists here. And Mr. Saurav Singh and Mr. Chandrasekhar Vyavhare, they will be joining us online. They're already there. So 2 panelists here, 2 panelists online, and that's the kind of format we are planning for all the events in the near future. Yeah, please. Yeah, so I'll be introducing 1 panelist at a time as they come and speak. I'll just add the slides.
Thanks, Vishal, and good afternoon, good evening to everybody. It's also good to see a lot of faces in the online audience. Some of them also find a mention in my slides, but it's good to see all of them. Hello again. Yeah, I have Vishal suggested 2 slides, but I have 4 slides. There are 2 kinds of academic folks. One that just picks a problem that comes their way or their students bring and work on them. The others, they develop a tool and then find interesting problems to apply that tool or solution. I'm in the former category, so I must admit that there is no specific pattern to my work, and so I decided to talk a little bit about 2 things. The first is on the research side, feature recognition. This was a very popular open problem when we started with the question that the designers know, the people who use the CAD system know that they are putting a hole, a slot, a pocket in their product, but the CAD system doesn't seem to know it, right? And so, you know, we have to sit again in front of the monitor and identify all of those for the subsequent applications. So can we do this automatically was the question that used to be asked. And a lot of people came up with solutions which were either rule-based or, you know, graph-based kind of solutions. And both of these were restricted by the number of rules you could write or the number of graphs that you could define to match against, right? And so we felt that there was a slightly better way to do this, and we came up with that, and I'm going to let this run just to show you that the solution actually exists, but that's not very germane to the talk. Right? What we came up with was a very nice classification framework. So basically what you're looking for is that on the screen on the right, the left, the features will get populated. You know, you started with a very sparse set of features and it will get populated as the program continues. Anyway, coming back to the solution, right? The contribution was rather neat classification of the features, right? And that led to a nice framework in which you could write formal definitions in the form of graphs for all these features. And then, of course, write formal algorithms to extract them from a CAD system. And so that was very sort of what I might say, very satisfying. And what was even more satisfying was that, you know, there were folks in the industry who liked it and they sort of took it, licensed it from the institute. And what you see here is an implementation within SolidWorks. So the AFR module within SolidWorks actually uses this algorithm. And this also is part of the CamWorks that now is on offer from HCL, though they both had the same source, which is GSSL to begin with. The sort of point I wanted to make here was two things. One, that you know, the research question, as it were, came from a problem that needed to be solved. So that was, you know, the first sort of thing that I sort of like to have, you know, a very definite problem for which somebody wants a solution, right? So that's one point. But the other point was that, you know, the elegance of the solution, even if I'm saying it myself, right? And I must admit that, you know, for us, the redemption was the fact that this was accepted by industry, because we had a hard time trying to publish this work. And the student basically spent probably 3 years trying to get the first of his papers published, and he gave up and joined industry, unfortunately. And we then, subsequently, these papers got published, but, you know, that was not in time to benefit him. But the elegance came from this taxonomy or formal classification. And then that's a theme I find kept recurring later as well in other parts of my work also, to have a formal enumeration or classification of the space in which you want to work is something that is very, very desirable to come up with elegant solutions. The nice thing about this was that we could take this work and extend it to other kinds of features, other domains, so much so that today we have a single framework that can cover features in multiple domains like sheet metal, molding and forming, machining. It doesn't matter which domain you are in, you know, the same framework works. So that is very satisfying. The next 3 slides are about, you know, some learnings that we made in design, you know. I didn't start out being a designer, you know, but it interested me again that you could solve problems, and that's one of the reasons why I like this whole thing. And I also like to have the ability to realize a physical solution at hand. That's not the way to do it. I need to move it away. Hang on a minute. I'll go to the next slide. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about my design journey in a progression of 3 products, right? The first one, and this is not in chronological order, so the second year batch will come right in the middle, right? This was Himanshu Mishra. I don't know which batch he was in, but this was a very interesting problem because this was done in a duration of about 14 weeks, 15 weeks, which is the CPD class, right? The nice thing about this was that it has all the elements that I think make a design problem interesting. That was a very nifty idea, that you have a hair dryer without any heating element, right? That was the basic idea. The solution was even niftier, right? It uses the principle of differential pressure, which is caused by differential velocity of airflow, right? And the differential pressure will be used to basically absorb or take away the moisture, right? And so that's again a very neat physical idea that tries to solve a real practical problem of having a hair dryer without heating element. The full slides will have a picture of what happens to your hair when you use the regular dryers. And if you use that as a marketing thing, this would have sold like hotcakes, except for one thing, which is that we could never make it, right? And that was a limitation that we learned at that time. Two problems. One, we could not get that motor or the fan of the specs that we wanted, right? And that's a problem with the design space that we were operating in, right? And in this 15-week class, we cannot solve all the problems, right? But that was a lesson we learned, that the design space in which your design is going to, a solution is going to arrive from, is also very key. Sometimes you have to push the design space to make your solution, realizable. And that was a key lesson from this particular exercise. Duration of about... Oh, that's not me. The second one, of course, is from two of your colleagues who are there on this call, and I'm very happy that they are here. Because this again came to us as a question from industry, that this is a major problem that they face. Small kids who collect these trash, get exposed to these needles. And of course, there is this spurious market that used to thrive of syringes that were reused, right, causing enormous danger. And again, the solution was very nifty, and I think a very neat solution. All the technologies then, would have this ability to not be reused, but for the stated capacity. Meaning that if you bought a 10 ml syringe, you cannot reuse it for 10 ml, but you can draw 5 ml back into it, right? But this one, they came up with a very nice design which will not allow you to draw any more fluid into this after you have used it once, right? I mean, I'm not going to talk about the actual solution here, but the point I wanted to make was that we had an engineering bureau at the time with us, APDAP, which was this joint venture that the department used to run with TCS. And because we had them, we could actually build this prototype, using soft tooling. So we made hundreds of pieces, have them tested in our health center, and actually we got good results. I mean, I don't know if memory serves right, but Praveer and Neeraj did want to take it up for a while. And so it was floating as a possible entrepreneurship idea for some time. And then, of course, they went their ways, and we actually reached out to companies in Coimbatore to do this, but we never managed to be able to license it, right? So this crossed one more hurdle, meaning that we were able to realize this, and we were able to realize this in reasonable numbers, but, we could not take the journey further, right? And the last one that I wanted to talk about was one that the chairman flashed in his presentation, the life box, right? This we are intrigued, and the reason I put it here is because our ability to realize prototypes has increased enormously since the time we did the first two, right? So this Mark III is what the students call this version, right? We made 5 prototypes of this so far. And two things about this. One, that there is enormous funding available post the student stay. This again was done in a period of about 15 weeks in the CPD class. And then we have been taking it forward since then, right? But the good things that have changed are that there is funding available to do this kind of exploration, A. And B is that, we now have the advantage of working with clinicians to actually test it and improve it. So this is going to go into clinical trials with pigs' hearts, in the next few weeks. And hopefully then, we should be able to put it in the marketplace. For those of you who are wondering, this is actually a product to ship hearts for transplant, right? And the idea is to sort of prolong the life of the heart outside of the human body without actually having to perfuse it with the human blood, right? And so this keeps it alive and ticking by perfusing some, fluids through it. And the idea is that you can stretch this time outside the human body to about 12 hours, which is what doctors want today to be able to reach anywhere from anywhere in this country, right? We haven't got to 12 hours yet. We will know once we do the trials. But that's the journey that we have made. So the lesson that I want to draw here is that, my theme is still, very simple, find a problem, solve a problem, right? But from a design output perspective, right, departments like ours are always held against this flag that where are your products, and no matter how much we say that is not our job, but we are still held to that standard. And I think what has happened is that we are getting better at it, and we are also able to better identify the gaps in achieving that transition to a product that can see the marketplace. I want to close with one slide because that also defines, Vishal had said, what is your philosophy to design? And if I had got this quote when we started this program, I think a lot of the debates we used to have probably could have been shut down, because the man who was responsible for this quote is probably treated as a demigod by all those people who view aesthetics drives the design. But there you go, And so that's what I believe in. And, let the brickbats follow. I'll stop here. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Gurumurthy. So we'll, with that talk, I think now we'll now move to the next talk in the interest of time, and we'll have discussions on what is stated. So we invite now Professor Ganeshan Prabhu, who is a professor and chairperson of the strategy area at Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. His areas of research and teaching are product innovation, strategic management, and entrepreneurship. He was a nominated member of the first term of the India Design Council. He offers executive programs at IMB on creating successful new products and design thinking, among others. He has also published a unique course flow that enables new faculty to develop and teach a course on new product development, an elective course that he has been teaching at IIM Bangalore for over 25 years. So, floor is yours.
Yeah, I don't have any slides. I just wanted to brief you about what I have been doing in this field. I'm not actually a designer by training. In fact, I did my graduation in physics, and then I went for a course on rural management, which gave me a lot of interesting ideas on how do you manage in very different circumstances, very different contexts. And then my PhD work was in strategy, but while I was doing my PhD work, I got interested in looking at joint R&D between firms and technology institutions. So that's where I got into this area. Primarily, of course, for my PhD, I did basically looked at how do companies work with R&D institutions to develop new products. And one of the institutions I was working with for the PhD was IISc. So I had interviewed a faculty here who had worked on a project with a company, and that project was sponsored by the ICICI, which had a program to sponsor such joint R&D projects. So subsequently, after I joined in IMB, I was looking at what sort of a course can I teach which combines my research interest and also what I wanted to do. And I found this idea of teaching a course on new product development very attractive. There was another colleague of mine who had joined along with me. We were both students together, and we started teaching that course together. And then a couple of years down the line, he left the course and I continued. And that's how I've been teaching that course for the last 25 years. So what happens in that course? Essentially, it is a course which is taught to management students. So they are not, we don't have a lab there. We can't actually make a physical product and so on. But what we try to do is get students to work through the pre-prototype stage. That means work on a business idea, work on a new product idea, but take it all the way at least up to the pre-prototype stage where you can show through a diagram or through some representation on screen that this is how the product will look. And it can also be a service. So if it's a service, then what is the service chart? So that is what they need to present. But the focus is more on looking at whether the product is viable or not. So the way over a period of time this has evolved. Initially, I was making a holistic assessment of these projects, but over a period of time, I have been able to evolve a process where I weigh it on 4 dimensions. One is whether when you present a prototype or pre-prototype stage, is it a feasible product? That means can it be done or not? Okay. Second is it a viable product? That means can it make money or can it at least recover the cost? So the viability aspect is covered. Then the third is it imitable or inimitable? That means, can somebody imitate your design very easily, or is it something that is very difficult for you, for somebody else to imitate? So that is another aspect that is given sufficient weightage. And it could be imitable, but if it is very innovative, then you have a lead. So I use a combination of innovative and inimitable as one combined weightage. And the fourth is whether there is sufficient demand for it or not. So that's, again, you can see from a business point of view, that is very important. Is it useful for people? Would people want it? Is it desirable from a user's point of view? So you can see that the evaluation is largely from a business point of view, but when it comes to the actual development of the product and looking at the nitty-gritties of the product, it is very much the way, I suppose, your people, faculty in your department or students in your department would be working on it. So it's a sort of a combination of management and nitty-gritty product design. That's what I've been trying to do through that course. And it is interesting how students somehow, initially they take the course because they think it may be interesting, but some of them, when the project happens, they get really interested. And then they do a lot of research, and then they discuss it quite actively. So every batch you have a few people who get really interested in the project and want to take it forward. And then some of them do, some of them don't. But it's not really, this is only, as you would understand, it's only at the first stage. It's not, the prototype is not really there. But it generates sufficient interest in this whole activity, and a lot of students get into product management, product development in the companies that they are working in. Product management over a period of time has become a very important career option for students. Earlier students used to look at consulting and marketing and such well-known subjects. And now, over the last 5 to 7 years, I have seen product management has become a very important area of interest, and also seen as a very interesting and interesting long-term career path for students of management. So that's where this course fits in very well. And there are a lot of other courses which are in marketing, in manufacturing, in product management, which fit into this type of a role. And those who have taken up these roles have come back to me later on and said that this course has been fairly useful for them. So it's a very different type of a course from what I have seen elsewhere, in the sense that I don't see a very similar course elsewhere. It's either more on the technical side or it's more on the product management side. But this combination is something that we started off with, and it has evolved into a course that seems to work. The other area which I have been working on more recently is design thinking. There again, we have found some interesting variations to the way design thinking is done.
Trying and balance with life and nature life and my obviously passion hobbies. So, whenever such discussion comes, whenever the challenge comes, what I see or what I've been seeing is that it really leads to new opportunities. There was a time when, if you remember, 2017, 18, 19, there was a big discussion on, the shared mobility and that being only focus of mobility in future. And, it was kind of just predicted that other forms of mobility will kind of eventually die and shared will be the big thing. But then pandemic came and then it forced us to rethink, as you can see this. And this really led to, again, new thoughts, new ideas, what people are, a lot of us are thinking, will it be super huge a new kind of here, or will it be autonomous as So lot of these things have started to happen around us. So every disruption really leads and forces us to think new, think different. And I really believe in that power of nature. Sometimes we feel that we control, but then whenever there's a challenge and we are forced to I'll say basics of life and basic things, necessities of life. Then we really wonder and think, and at times really new ideas come, emerge from that thought process. So one of the products that we worked, actually this not impacted by pandemic, but this was just before pandemic. We showcased this concept car, Futuroi, and February 2020. As the pandemic was happening, China, actually we had launched this car and showcased this in Delhi Auto Show. This was conceptualized completely the complete inside out every element of this conceptualized. What is unique about this car, obviously exterior is very was the interior. Actually, we realized that in India, if you look at our travel scenario, it's very stressful at times when we are using the car. In the city mode, people need very relaxed ambience. They want absolutely calm, simple, so that they don't get stressed out, even though they're stressed outside. But then our interior should be such that you not composed feeling, and it helps in, I won't say meditation, but kind of keep you cool and keep you relaxed, and you can enjoy time of being. And definitely it has autonomous capabilities, but then yes, in our city, still autonomous is a far-fetched thing, but the kind of we have will take off years to do work in our kind of city. But yes, when we really step out of the city, out in nature, the thought of modes with really mode inspired, the car can transform the moods of the users inside and they will offer autonomous and the capabilities dependent. But just cars, but the car experience will change. That was the core thought. I have a small video. I'll try to show it. I hope it works. Can you see the video?
Yes.
Okay, great. Not sure if you can hear the audio, but so as you can see, this is the studio of the car. It's all very simple, clean, very minimal, very clean. But the moment user gets to the car, only the required elements get live. The car actually, like animal, the dog sleep, but when you pat do something, the dog becomes active. So something on those lines becomes very active. But as you again go out of cities or want to relax, it gets into the autonomous modes again, and you can really interact, feel the whole experience of interiors change, and really relax and enjoy the journey. Or when you really want to ride adventure track, again the car would engage, and you really can enjoy the very energetic drive. The skeleton car, instead of the car become like a skeleton, and it really shows that energy. So that was whole idea, the experiential design which was built around the Indian customer and the thought process, the way people look at car interiors. So the way I look at design, and way I would say that CPDM 2050, 2050, not 2040, 47, we really have to think about future and the way we would like to design the future of needs for India. I think all the youngsters, they really need to look at the lifestyles, how people, how they are facing technology, how they think. Youth also look at the environment, the world we live in, look at the challenges that we face, and balance. And vision of health and environment is a real balance, right? It's really the moment it can address. It's a kind cars may change, cars 20 years from now. Still, we need to address the mobility need for human, whichever even we live in, but is really to explore and need to see how to address it, to really design those systems.
Yes, sort of the voice is breaking now. So, I mean, I think yeah, so if you could maybe switch off the video and maybe I'll do that here as well. Let's see if that helps.
Okay, maybe because of maybe some bandwidth issues. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so what I was saying that what is really important for us is now, and especially for future designers, the young generation, the people, the CPDM, the young designers, CPDM of the channel, is that really find this balance between lifestyle and environment, and really find those unique, as Professor Ruben was also talking about,